this character, this super anti-fascist character, because, well, I suppose he'd trigger quite a few people. But I've had an okay-ish week. I was on one of Tonkasaur's shows. I wasn't actually planning on going in. Really, I should have sort of said, well, maybe make it another day, because well, they wanted me to talk to this Jack bloke, and he sort of well, he didn't really say a lot, which was hard work. You know, if you're going to have a conversation with someone and they're sort of slightly tight-lipped, it does make things pretty difficult to, you know, have a conversation. You know, I'm perfectly open to talk stuff. Supposedly, I hurt his feelings, and everyone took his side because I called him a white supremacist or something on Twitter. Mainly because I was being dogpiled at the time, and when you're dogpiled, you do have a tendency to say the wrong thing. And I'll completely hands in the air accept if I've said the wrong thing in the past. But, you know, if you're in the middle of a massive argument, well, it's a little bit cheap to sort of suggest that well, you know, it came across as being a little bit of a like forced concept. And then they let in this wolf shite, whatever woman, and she basically spent all of her time yelling abuse at me, like somehow that was going to be impressive, which it wasn't. I just I thought that she was talking rubbish, but you know, I'm used to getting yelled at by people because I trigger a lot of people because, you know, I'm not. Well, I triggered people at school so much that they used to bully me because, you know, I don't fit into their sort of pre-planned notions of how people are supposed to be. So I'm used to getting hate for absolutely no reason, but this vulgarian was basically just yelling at me, and it was quite funny because this was the same woman who'd said some pretty disgusting things about my mother, and she'd somehow got into a conversation that she wasn't even in. I was talking to someone else. She comes in and starts saying horrible things about my family. So yeah, that stream is the last time I will ever speak to her. If they bring her in, I'm just going to leave because my life's too short to waste it on an obviously damaged individual. You know, she said things that were so contradictory. Like, she claimed that she was a policewoman, which, no. Someone with that level of hate, no way they're a police.
I'm sure I have something here that can help
a
you.
member
Take
of
a
any
look.
police force. She's probably just something like a mall cop. Or, well, not even a mall. It's probably the strip mall. You know, it's certainly not the she didn't use the language of someone who was sort of had any self-control. Basically came across as a bit of a maniac, really, sort of foam-flecked. And she said things that I think actually spoke more about her than spoke about me, because she went into one that I live with my mother, which I haven't lived with my mother since probably, blimey, must be 2004. You know, I moved out when I was 23. So yeah, that was a sort of weird thing, but she did seem a pretty weird person, to be honest. Yeah, I pretty much they brought her in just to shout at me, and you know, it's kind of a waste of time, really.
Hey, it's Superman. The Watchtower's orbital perimeter sensors detected a spacecraft entering Earth's atmosphere. It crash-landed in Smallville, and I'm concerned for the people there. Head over there and provide support for Dr. Weaver and Star Labs.
Where is it? Ah! I hope it's still running, because yeah, I was playing it last night on with my much higher leveled super fandom character. It was really good because it had a big mission where there was like, I think there was about 10 of us all fighting the Injustice Syndicate, or whatever the hell they're called. They're basically like the Justice League, but they're a reverse version, so they're all villains. And it's set on Earth 3. Yeah, so this woman basically just shouted and shouted and shouted at me. And then the next day, I got up and I thought, I wonder why she's so bonkers. So I went to her channel, which made me laugh my arse off.
Superman said to expect
because
you.
She's got 0. She's got 5
The ship Superman may
videos,
have mentioned has been commandeered by LexCorp agents.
and they're with a group of the most sort of one of them was Geek Fulu, and I was like, oh my god, Captain Shit Stirrer. You know, this is a bloke who says nasty things behind people's backs and then sort of sucks up to them when he's with them. I'm like, you know, so I wasn't, I didn't even bother I watched about like 10 minutes of 2 of the streams, because basically she just came in and did what she did on the stream I was on, which basically consisted of yelling a load of abuse. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, is that all you have? You know, is that all you've got to say? Swear words. Wow. I think most children grow out of that at like the age of 5. You know, saying horrible things. You know, I could just imagine her sort of like thinking she's like being really edgy by saying really stupid things like that I was supposed to suck her cock. And somehow me being friendly with transsexual people was somehow a blight against me, which it isn't, because I quite like a lot of transsexual people.
You little punk!
You know, you know, it's not my fault that she's such a complete bigot that she can't handle people not fitting into her narrow view. Still, I've seen a lot of that in the past couple of days. I sat down at work because there was some problems on and I couldn't do any line cleaning, so I was sat in the staff room. I was a bit bored, and I thought, I know, I've been meaning to do it for months and months and months. I'll sit down and go through all of the people I'm following on YouTube and assess whether it's worth watching them. And it was amazing how many complete twats I was following. People who they're all one-trick ponies. They're all sort of they say that they're skeptics, but then they do counter to that. It's like today I watched a video and it was Armoured Skeptic, and it was one of those ridiculous drama videos which I find most internet drama really boring, and it was about the whole Blair White red pill black thing, and it was so one-sided what he was saying. It was just astounding that, you know, I was like, why don't you just put up a video saying I'm with Blair? Because he got into this whole conspiracy theory involving Zoe Quinn, and I've been following Zoe Quinn on Twitter, and I just don't get what they're talking about. You know, I heard Zoe Quinn was like some sort of, you know, doxer, and she was evil and all that. All I've seen is a pretty sort of normal girl who, you know, she likes cats and things, and I'm like, I just don't see this supervillain that they keep going on about. But my theory is that they're just trying to get that stupid Gamergate thing rolling again. Because most of these people who have been involved with that, they're sort of, well, the whole attacking SJWs has really become a bit of a waste of time now. Most people don't do it. The Amazing Atheist doesn't. He had a response video to Sean and Jen, but that was about it. He doesn't go after these people anymore because you've got Trump as president. You've got the alt-right to laugh at because some of them are just the most dumb people I've ever seen. They're like Alex Jones level dumb. And Armoured Skeptic was just going on and on about this conspiracy theory that somehow this red pill black person was part of a secret cabal, and the whole reason why she'd set up a website was to dox people on the right wing. She's not really a conservative at all, even though she says ridiculous conservative things. I don't actually like her, but I like the truth. I like reality, and I can't be sitting and watching someone who claims to be a skeptic talking like Kent Hovind. It's just it's rather sort of pathetic. It's quite sad as well, because I was a really big fan of Armoured Skeptic when he was sort of doing response videos to Christians and Flat Earth and things like that, and he was very funny. But recently, it's oh my god, the ego. I think it's ever since that Milwaukee con thing where basically. Well, I didn't get it. I watched the video and he seemed to be talking like he was some sort of big balls type Sam Harris character, but he said very little, and then they got shoe on head on the screen, and I was like, oh my god, this is like watching a school play. You know, if she's not used to public speaking, don't stick her up on a bloody stage. Oh, for crying out loud. I think my armour's a bit crap. I think my character, this was the wrong character to do on this, because I haven't really built him up that much. So, I'll carry on. My anti-fascist character. I did have a conversation with Tonka in the week about sort of anti-fascism, because I'd watched this whole documentary about the Aryan Nation, and who are, you know, they're full-on fascists. And I'd watched a video, can't remember, I think it was Willy Bumblebee or something, about, oh no, it was The Motivator, it was Tim Blake, about the whole Tom Bloke thing, the answer for super soldiers, and then and there was a fella called Vito who I follow, who's very funny, and he actually went to one of these events, saying he said we're going to go and check out the answer for super soldiers, and he went there and it was all hippies. It looked like something from oh Christ, what are they called? The Occupy movement. You know, it wasn't sort of some sort of Marxist march thing. They actually had a bloke there with a guitar. It was like he was singing Kumbaya type shit, you know. I was like, are you serious? This is just nonsense. Right, where's this crash site? Oh, that's a puddle. Oh.
You little punk!
Come back.
You little punk!
I'll get to the event.
No!
A bit like a Black Arrow is. I've been watching season 5 of Arrow, and that is really fucking good. The problem I'm having at the moment is I follow quite a few film reviewers who are very honest, and from what I've heard, the Justice League movie isn't very good. So I'm a bit put off actually going and seeing it. You know, supposedly it's a little bit lighter than the previous Zack Snyder movies. Really, I don't think Zack Snyder should be directing them. I think he should be doing something else, like producing or working as director of photography. He's very good at that. I do like his lush style, but it's just, it doesn't really work with Superman. It's a bit, you know, it's too dark. It's quite funny when I watched Man of Steel. There was all this stuff about Kevin Smith, who under John Peters was going to do like a Superman film back in the 90s about the death of Superman. And, you know, John Peters wanted him to be ultra dark, like Batman, and it was just like, he's Superman. He's not. You're not supposed to be sort of. It's Superman. He's supposed to be like a Boy Scout. You know, he's supposed to be a completely good person. And I can't remember who he wanted. He wanted some actor who was completely the wrong person to do the role. But, yeah.
Good work securing the site. The ship is empty. I wonder who could have...
Come on, Superman. I thought crashed alien ships were your forte.
Luther, you'd be wise to leave while you still have your feet under you.
Calm yourself. I didn't come to fight. Someone has broken into my personal office and bypassed my DNA and retinal scanners. They've requested a chat with us both.
You expect me to come with you? Not a chance.
I'm willing to bet it was the pilot of that ship. Certainly a chance to meet another alien is worth your effort. Spare me the dramatics and see if I'm lying.
Even a broken clock tells the truth twice a day, Luther. Okay, I'll go, but they're coming with me.
Fine, so long as you help me kick this squatter out of my office.
It's funny, they've got the bloke who does the voice of Superman in Superman the animated show.
There, stay on your toes.
They haven't got
Lex can't be trusted.
The bloke who plays Lex Luthor doing his voice. Even though this is more the Lex Luthor of the comics than sort of the animated show. I can't remember the name of the actor. He played the Kurgan in Highlander.
Whoever is in my office got past
he
all of my
actually
security
voiced one of the characters
including the retinal
in
scanners. They're going to regret
the
Really?
Thor movie,
Lead-lined
which
walls,
I
Lex?
really loved. Thor
And you want me to
Ragnarok.
believe this isn't a trap? I've already told
It's
the
not my
Justice
favourite
I'm
Marvel film. That'd be Guardians of the
Trust
Galaxy
me,
2, but
of all the ways I've imagined killing you, this is not one. Now let's go. I want my office back. I hate it when people mess with my stationery. All right, mystery man, we're here. Who the hell are you? Good afternoon, Lex. And I assume this is Superman, correct?
It's uncanny. He looks just like you.
And you sound just like him. Forgive me.
this is
I'm Alexander Luthor.
the
And while my hijacking of
Lex
this office may
Luthor
seem like a
who-
threat to you, I assure you.
Earth 3,
I have
everything's
much
in
more dire
reverse, so
thing. Enough, you
he's like their
loquacious
only
twit.
hero.
I'll show you how I deal with
Ultraman
threats.
and all. Ultraman's basically
I
Superman.
am
but
Alexander Luthor,
Lex, wait.
protector of Earth. I'm warning. It really is me. He knows invading my office. A person up front. A cost. You're making a mistake. Back off.
Maybe this will knock some sense into you.
Get back.
With this update, though,
Had
they've
enough?
given Superman the like, I think it's New 52 outfit, and I'm not a fan of that at all. That's the same one that they use in the movies. With the sort of, instead of the trunks, it's got a belt, and I'm like, oh god, why don't you stick to the classic Superman look? It's the one I like. Clearance and hit him with a fucking BFG. It doesn't even make sense. The BFG is basically a big fucking
You're
gun.
making a mistake.
Even though they put that joke in an episode of Justice League Unlimited, because they're the binary
I'm bringing you to
fusion camp,
justice.
which is basically the joke of Big Fucking Gun, because Big Fucking Gun was in Doom. So I'm going to talk about why I've become a socialist again, mainly because I'm sick and tired of trying to be in the middle. Essentially, I've tried to accept the centre, but I just can't anymore because it's sort of like being a mafia wife.
This has gone long enough.
You know that one side of the main team are doing disgusting,
Back off.
just awful things. I read today there's a bill going through Congress in America to limit women having abortions.
I am not your enemy.
Even if
Please,
the child
you
is
must listen.
got
I come from another
severe
world,
birth
another
defects,
Earth,
and I'm like,
similar
Jesus
to
Christ,
yours,
why
but
would you
ruled by
put
tyranny. My
a
Earth
family
needs your
through
help.
that sort of nightmare?
What you say is true.
Particularly
and this
since,
is a problem for the Justice League.
Please, summon.
you know, if a child's got birth defects,
Thank you for coming. I am here because an immensely powerful group of super beings called the Crime Syndicate has seized control of my world and made violence.
it's all well and good if they're
The
a
vast
rich
majority of the
family,
police are corrupt.
but
and
in
citizens
America they have to
chosen
pay for their own
ignoble
health
paths to
care.
survive. I
So,
once led a
you
team
know,
of
this is
heroes,
just,
not
it's
unlike
a
your Justice
really,
League
what I
against
consider an evil thing.
last survivor.
Putting a
I don't
burden
think
like
it's
that
wise
on
to
a
take him at his
family,
word.
particularly if they're in
You
poverty.
can't trust a Luthor. Any
Besides, it's not going to
Luthor.
work because
We
people
can't
just go
ignore his
over
plea for help,
the
even if he
into
has
the
the
next
face of
state
our
and get their
enemy.
abortions
There are
in the next
billions of
state.
lives at stake. I could use
Just
the lasso to compel
a
him.
bureaucratic
We don't need to. He's telling the
attempt
truth.
to
The
sort of
situation
split the
sounds
vote
dire. I
again.
I don't like the idea of leaving our Earth defenseless.
And
no
I
matter
just
what the reason.
I'm seeing it in
Martian
the UK
Manhunter,
as
Green
well,
Lantern, and Aquaman
with
can command the
the
Watchtower and rely on the rest of Earth's
obnoxious
heroes in case of any emergencies. I assure
anti-homosexual,
you, Batman, our Earth is
well,
well protected. I vote we
anti-LGBTQ
go.
This
of
Earth may
the
refuse to
DUP.
acknowledge
They
that I'm its
say the
greatest
most
champion, but
obnoxious
perhaps
things.
this other Earth will better
One of the
appreciate my efforts.
DUP
I'm in.
I wouldn't hold your
pamphlets
breath, Luthor.
was suggesting
or
ethnic
step out of
cleansing.
line.
Then
I'm like-
it's settled.
The fucking government are in cahoots
Anyone
with
else
these
got
people.
the feels right now?
Jesus Christ. How's this democracy? Also, there's talk of a proportional representation vote going ahead again. And if that happens, then I'm definitely voting for it because I wanted it back in...
You gotta love it when the
back in
band gets back
Now that we're
together.
here, I
2010,
suggest
the
we
last time
split
they
up.
attempted
You
it.
two, follow me to the courthouse. It is the main source of corruption in Gotham City.
Hey,
get off the
I'm
street.
allowed to do this.
You're not likely to get away with that.
Ooh.
This situation is getting out of control. Officer down!
Oh, there we go. Come on, Alex. Show us which direction.
I got $20 on the one
The
on the
most
left.
thing about Alexander Luthor is I keep getting flashbacks of Jesse Isaacs or Isaacs, or whatever his name is, from Batman vs Superman, and he was terrible. He seemed to be playing. He got like scripts mixed up because he certainly wasn't playing Lex Luthor. He was playing. I think he was playing the Riddler. It was such a weird performance. I think it was a major miscasting. Really, if you're going to do Lex Luthor, they needed an older man for a start. It's not going to be Kevin Spacey again, but
Mind your own business,
Jesus, Kevin
freaks.
Spacey, Christ! Oh,
Get back.
that whole thing, that is some severe bad juju. But
My pension won't cover this.
yeah, really you need to cast someone like, say,
Mind your own business, freaks.
I'm trying to think of an actor who could play him. I suppose someone like Michael Gambon or something like that. Someone who's got a lot
We're
of
gonna
like
need an
clout,
advance on your protection.
because
Go for backup.
Lex Luthor never gets physical. He's got robots and mercenaries to do all of his work for him. So you don't need a young man, really.
My pension won't cover this.
Really badly casted. I've got to start
We're
watching
gonna need an
Supergirl
advance
as
on your
well,
protection.
because Supergirl season 2's got like the sister of Lex Luthor in it. Still, I had so many problems with Man of Steel. Why kill Tess Mercer was like the major one. I'm like, that would have been so much better if you'd had Tess Mercer in a robot suit fighting Superman as like a bodyguard, something like the Ironmonger from Iron Man. But no, instead let's blow her up in a courthouse. I was just like, oh, for crying out loud. Well, I've seen a lot of films lately where...
Get out of here, scum! I didn't ask for your help.
It reminds me a lot of the 90s, because in the 90s there was a whole series of movies where they'd cast big actors and not use them.
Gordon,
I'm thinking of
your
films
time
like
as
Hook,
mayor is over.
where
You're
they
under
badly
arrest for
miscast
obstruction of
people
justice.
in big roles, but they barely did anything with them. Owlman.
Could you cut it any closer, Owlman? I had to make sure your money transfer cleared. Your protection isn't pro bono after all, and neither is your re-election.
The best
Now, if you'll
actor
excuse me,
to play Owlman
someone
was
behind
in.
the
They made a
Good, he's gone. Move quickly.
Pretty
Justice
bold
League
move for a wanted
movie
criminal to show his face
with,
in my city. I see you found some more costume flunkies.
The,
Did you tell them what
crime
happened to the
syndicate.
last bunch?
This
And
time is different.
they had
Your tyranny ends
James
today.
Woods playing
I don't have time to
Owlman, and
play
he was
games with you. I have an
amazing.
entire police force to take out my trash for.
Wish James
Now, if you
Woods
don't
did more
mind,
movies
I
like
have a
that.
re-election gala to plan.
You know, play it was. I'd say it was it was better than when he played Hades in Hercules.
Seems force is all you understand. Do you really think you can hurt me?
This won't end well.
Build up
Back
the
off.
PSG. Because this hero's just a man, so he hasn't even got super strength. I've got to unlock that power. I want to
That's
get
your one free
Bane
shot.
suit to make him strong. Right, let's get it in place and hit him with a big gun.
It'll take more than that.
Oh, no, you don't.
You shouldn't try to solve.
Oh! Shit. Well, no one help me, just keep fighting.
The heroes of your Earth have wasted little time addressing the justice they've witnessed here. The Justice League are already mobilizing around the Tri-Corner district of Gotham. Your Superman.
Yeah, so
spearheaded
the
efforts.
socialism
Speak
thing, I'm
further
going back
instructions.
to being a socialist.
Thank you again.
I'm just sick and tired
This
of
is only the beginning.
of hearing bullshit arguments and this whole the conservative rich people are just basically shafting the working class and the middle class all the time, and it's not benefiting anyone in any possible way. It's harming, you know.
The heroes of your Earth have
Just
wasted
to
little time
polish
addressing
someone like
injustice they've
Donald
witnessed
Trump's
here.
ego,
The Justice
they're
League
bringing
are
in
already
all these
mobilizing around the
laws
Tri-Corner district of
that
Gotham. Superman is spearheading the efforts there. Speak to him for further instructions.
yeah, they're bringing in all these laws that are going to sort of benefit only millionaires. It's like the massive tax breaks they're doing are just insane. That you know, you've got a country that is in debt by 20 trillion. That's more money than, I think, Germany, the UK, and Russia combined. And that's debt. That's money that they'll never recoup. And I'm just like, how can you continue to run a country this way with super rich people not paying any tax? It's the thing that's fucking killing them all. It's killing their society. Is that none of them are fucking, you know, they're all sort of they're feathering their own bed all the time, and they're not adding anything to a society. I just find it's crazy.
Johnny Quick thinks he's the fastest man alive. Or at least that's what his girlfriend will tell you. I wonder if he can keep up with you, though. Let's find out.
Help!
I need to do 2 of these missions.
The crime syndicate has its tentacles wrapped around every facet of this Earth's society. We need to map out their control structures so we know how to infiltrate and subvert them.
Look out!
I want this one, because but I've got to take out 303 villains. It's a nice, easy job.
Crime syndicate don't take kindly to interference in official business. Hey, watch the face! That hurt!
It's quite weird, this Justice League thing that I noticed, that there's no Green Arrow. I'm like, if you're going to do this Justice League movie, why not bring in the characters that don't have any powers? Because they're going to be the easiest to sort of explain away. Like, you know, well, they basically did that with Suicide Squad. Because I never understood, apart from TNA, why you'd have Harley Quinn there. I can understand someone like, say, Deadshot, because he's like a super villain. You know, assassin. He's like a sort of... no, he's not. He's not a super soldier. I think he's just an assassin. But you know, it makes sense having him in the group. But Harley Quinn, all her power seems to be is that she's bonkers. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's not really a superpower. That's someone who you don't really want, because it's going to sort of screw things up in a fight. If someone's completely you know, they're not going to be able to add anything to the team. Her weaponry seemed really shit. You know, it was hammers and baseball
This is Amanda
bats
Waller.
and things. Like,
this operation
how
is
the
now
fuck
under
is
the
this
jurisdiction
gonna be
of
sort
Task
of
Force
fighting
X.
this,
For the duration, you will be
this
working with
sort
villains
of,
from the Suicide Squad to complete
like,
the
queen
objective. Focus
creature,
on the mission.
this
We'll keep your
sort
guests
of,
in line.
this giant super being. Like, what the fuck? I like that suit. That is one cool suit. He looks like
he's going to answer for his
La Parker.
I'm going to find the truth of what happened to the British race.
Please just change weapons. Let's change weapons. Scimitar. Oh. One more around the corner. Yeah, so it's not like a major switch. I've been like a centralist for a couple of years, but you know, the British government are just as bad as the American government. Actually, I consider Theresa May worse than Trump in many ways, because at least Trump pretends to be confident. Theresa May just comes across as someone who is sort of week by week trying to make good and has no long-term plan. It seems to be let's tread water and hope things will get better. And it's like, no, that's you know, you've got to have a plan of attack. And everything in UK politics is being hidden behind Brexit now. Absolutely everything. You know, no talking about dealing with child poverty and people having to use food banks, things like that. Oh no! We're just going to keep going on about how important Brexit is.
How
because
dare
it really
you
isn't
use the
important.
office of mayor for extortion, corruption, and murder? The Jim Gordon I know.
That is a
would have
really
no
cool
part of
suit.
it.
Who in the blazes are you?
To,
Don't act like you know.
It looks like some of that
cutthroat
Halloween
owlman
stuff they
knockoff.
had recently.
I'm the mayor of Gotham City, and you and your pals are done for. Activate the automated defenses.
Turrets online. Engage hostiles.
All units, move in. Form a wall.
Yeah. I've also, not my secondary Twitter, but my main Twitter, I've started sort of unfollowing certain people. You know, if they're only cheering on criticisms of me, what's the point? You know, I quite like Vamp Candy, but every time I've had her follow me on Twitter, every time someone says something horrible to me,
Gordon thinks
she's there like a fucking cheerleader, and I'm like, I just forget it. You know, if you're not going to be sort of on side, I don't need someone making me feel even lower than I do when someone's horrible. Well, that stream that I did the other day, where that woman was yelling at me for like fucking 40 minutes. She used literally fuck, cock, and arsehole. I think it sounded like 45 times. I sort of counted them, and it's just like, well, what's the point? If the word doesn't mean anything the first time you say it, why continue using it? Why continue going on at this sort of almost suggesting prison rape type thing, that somehow that's going to frighten me when it's not, because I'm bisexual and I do actually quite like certain men. And I do like trans women. I'm pretty much, well, I heard it's not bisexual, it's something else. They're putting a new terminology, because some bisexual men only like women and men. But I quite like trans people as well.
You idiots! Stop them!
Gordon! You can't run from me. He's heading for the elevator.
But, you know,
I'm going after him.
It doesn't
Take out
affect
the
me
rest
if
of
someone
his
says that I'm a queer or something. I'm like, well, so what? Is that it? oh, you're pointing out the obvious. I'm like, oh God, I'm so hurt. But it was unfair, really. It was like a 2-on-1, really, because Jack didn't say a lot. And it was hard for him to sort of stretch out a conversation. I was also slightly taking the piss, I'll admit that. I was doing my El Diablo character. Because I use multiple characters, and this seems to piss them off even more. They're going to be really surprised when I start using Pofit Cab, which is my openly gay character. It's sort of like Copper Cab, but silly. And you know, I've got to order some silky clothes. That's something on my list of things to do when I get paid next, because I want to sort of play on the whole ContraPoint scene, because the right wing absolutely hates ContraPoints because she's so funny and intelligent and completely throws them because, you know, she acts like a like sort of really sexy woman, and it it disarms them because, you know, they're expecting to be facing a dude, and I'm like, I've watched practically all of her videos now, because and they're really good and they're really funny, and they use factual information. It's like I've got quite a fan of the Bronx. I think he's called the Bronx blogger. He was called the Bronx Social Warrior. And I was quite rude to him because I was sort of a bit on the Jeff Holiday bandwagon at the time. But I did apologise. You know, I apologised to Jack for calling him a white supremacist, and that sort of disarmed them all. And then they went into another thing, and the claim was that because I apologised, somehow two people against me. One who was basically like a human Rottweiler, yelling loads of abuse at me. Somehow that meant that I'd lost. And I'm like, nah.
A couple of dead circus folk means I can keep
I even pointed out to AP, the angry Pepper, who my suspicion is that a lot of his right-wing stuff is all for show. Which I quite like, you know, people playing characters. I like Nagod for the same reason, that he's playing sort of a completely fictional, ridiculous character. And that's basically what I do when I do El Diablo, that I even write on Twitter like I would speak if I've got an accent. So I use Z's instead of S's, and it's pretty much Monty Python's Frenchman routine from the Holy Grail. You know, your English piggers are fat in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father snoozed of elderberries. Yeah, so well, now I sometimes just go into, when they're having something like in failure streams, and I go in and type in something like Pofit here to trigger you, bye. Some of them are so ridiculously overreacting about things. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I don't know what, maybe it's in their diet or something, but you know, I certainly couldn't sustain that level of anger. You know, there's people I dislike, but hate is so much of a thing. You need a lot of energy to be sort of hating someone. There's always been a comparison between hate and love, that, you know, you've got to be sort of
1033,
You know, both ways it takes a lot of power. You know, oh, sorry. Yeah, definitely got a colour. Got that horrible where in the back of the throat feels damp all the time. Keep getting cotton mouth as well. I actually did I did a promo in and they were all laughing at it, which was a shame because when they showed it they spoke all the way through the fucking thing. Like, if you're going to show a promo, show a fucking promo. Don't be talking all the way through it, because it defeats the object of having a promo. Yeah. But, no. Where is everyone? Are we all here? We're all here, right.
What do we have here? Does someone want to throw themselves on the mercy of the court?
I don't know who these characters are supposed to be in the regular DC
crime and punishment. So come forward and face the judge.
I do remember there was a comic back in the 90s, well, it was in the 80s, called The Justice Machine. But I don't know whether this is linked to that. Fuck all to this bloke, I'll go after another one.
You shall now answer to a jury of your peers.
There's practically no barriers to him.
You are hereby sentenced to death. We find you in contempt.
Batter up!
We, the jury, find you guilty. You shall now answer to a jury of your peers.
This character I've created, I very much... I think it's slightly inspired by... Mad Dog on Arrow, who I was really surprised how much I liked, because he doesn't really resemble the Silver Age Mad Dog, but I actually think he's better than like Marvel's Daredevil's Punisher. But he's more sort of big mouth and he comes out with lines like, you know, I can't remember which episode it was, where he was with someone else and they said, well the Arrow told us to wait here, and he said, yeah, but Green Arrow knows that I won't listen to him, and he goes off and does his own thing. But I actually really like Season 5. Season 4 was a bit of a slog. It's a shame because they had such a good baddie in Damien Dark. Because Damien Dark in the comics it was a bit boring for me. But in... let's get that big fucking guy.
This will not change your sentence. The verdict shall be carried out. It merely prolongs
Damien Dark in the comics is a bit like one trick pony. You know, he's like just a businessman. It was a little bit like they saw the success of Batman the animated show and said, well, we can't do Lex Luthor fully like they've got in there, or people accuse us of plagiarism. So instead they sort of made Damien Dark into that. But in the TV show, it's amazing. I can't remember the actor who plays it, but I first noticed in Star Trek First Contact, and we've been in quite a few things over the years that I like it's a very good horror movie called Ravenous, and let's change my gauntlets. There you go. Nice. Looking very Batman. Oh, I need to go up the wall. Oh, they look like twins.
Owlman has been leaning on me more than ever to hide any evidence of Grayson's adoption by Wayne. It seems it was a cover-up so Owlman could take him under his wing. What Owlman has been teaching the kid since Wayne adopted him, I'll never know. But it seems Owlman is grooming a new partner. The last thing I need is another maniac looking for his cut at Gotham. I'm not too worried, though. The kid seems soft to me.
I'm going to change weaponry. Where's my weapons? Ah, there we go. Short knife. Bit like my short katana I've got hidden under my bed. Just in case there's a zombie apocalypse, it's nice to have a weapon that you could decapitate someone with. Ah, and I've got 2 cricket bats and a shotgun. To be like Casey Jones. Yeah, DC TV, I'm amazed it's really, really good. And DC movies, bloody awful. I don't get it why they can't get the medium balanced. You think with all of the characters and all of the storylines that you could do with DC. I think really the way that they should go is forget all this dark shit, stop trying to make it like the fucking 90s. They should make a like Bronze Age TV, a Bronze Age film of like the Justice Society, then make a Silver Age movie of the Justice League, and then make like a sort of throwback comedy of the Bronze Age set in the 80s.
Think again. I put
and have those 3 different movie structures interlinked.
No one operates in my city.
A bit like Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers. They're in the same universe, but they haven't met yet.
Good, but not good enough. You don't have the guts for this.
I'm going to have to change to the bow. I can't compete hand-to-hand with Owlman. Owlman's interesting because he's actually Thomas Wayne Jr. He's not Bruce Wayne. Ah, he's up there. Oh! Got your arse kicked.
Your loved one will pay for that.
Oh, shit.
Eye for an eye.
At least get some room. You know, I can hit him with this. Son bitch. Yeah, Owlman I really liked in the DC movie because he was a nihilist. And there's a brilliant line right at the end where he gets beaten by Batman. And he's got this super weapon. And he just smiles to himself and says, it doesn't matter anyway. And he just dies. Which I find that a much more realistic villain than you know, it was almost like sort of Neil Gaiman type idea that, you know, if you've ever read, well, if you've heard about Stardust, which was a brilliant movie, but the book version,
time to kick this party up a notch.
In it, that's played by Michelle Pfeiffer. She doesn't. She just gives up in the end.
You punch like a swat. Hey, watch the bait.
It's basically working outside that's giving me this cold. It's been so cold lately. All the people on board the trains are sneezing and coughing. I had an old lady who I was a bit forgiving because, you know, when people are old, they have a tendency to be a bit forgetful. And she sneezed all over the counter when I was trying to. She was apologetic, but you know, I was like, oh god, I'm not a germphobe, but you know, it was like a sneeze, like a shotgun, and it was just like I was like, oh, it's everywhere.
Good, but not good enough.
Had to do a journey plan for her. Poor old dear. Problem is, a lot of old people get very muddled, particularly when the names of stations are similar, because she wanted to go to Woking. She ended up in Wokingham. So, you know, I'm completely fine. I explained to a guard when the train came in, can you help this old lady, because you know, she's it wasn't a case of she'd lost her marbles, but she wasn't like the full ticket, you know. You could tell that she hadn't travelled on a train for years. And you know, I like I said, this one of the reasons why I'm a socialist again is that I actually care about people who, you know, life isn't that easy. Part of the thing that I absolutely detest, especially about people on the internet now who are right wing, is just the nastiness, the unnecessary being a shit, being an arsehole, being unhelpful to people, and sort of, especially when they claim to be Christians. And, you know, the teachings of Christ are more like socialism than conservatism. Christ wasn't saying fuck the poor. He was saying that you should help the poor. You should be a charitable person. You should try and be good. You know,
don't just stand there.
Do no harm.
Kill these vigilantes.
Oh, bastards. Gosh, I'm glad I'm not doing this mission on my own. Ah! Ah! Get off! They use some sort of gravity weapon on me. Ah! You bastard! What does he keep hitting me for? Right, where is everyone? Don't stay in one place, dudes.
Good, but not good enough. Your loved ones will pay for that.
I saw a very sort of cancerous video recently that was an attempt to recapture the magic of a previous video that was like it's a response to SJWs. Number 2.
He forced the kid to join the crime syndicate.
You simpering worm.
The bloke
Gordon.
who did it is this a bit of a hack called Sinatra Says, who
Gordon
seems to be using exactly the same arguments TJ Kirk was using like 2 years ago.
Shut your mouth.
You let him face the Joker
it all
alone.
seems a little bit like sort of a fanboy that doesn't feel like anything genuine.
Batman, don't do this. Don't let the bitterness of this earth poison you.
Foolish, sanctimonious brat thinks he can deal with my enemies compassionately? He dares criticize my methods? He's as weak as Bruce was, just another coward unable to do what's needed. Why must they all be so weak? Why? Let him go. Let him pay a visit to our crime-fighting friend, the Joker, now that the clown has completely lost his mind. Whatever scars Richard walks away with due to his unwillingness to kill or be killed will serve as a lesson to him. I refuse to pull his hide from the fire. He'll have to learn the hard way.
Hey, that is one cool look.
You'll see Gordon gets what he deserves.
Wait, did he say Detective Snart?
That's Captain Cold, Leonard Snart. I was so gutted when they killed Captain Cold in the first season of Legends of Tomorrow, because he was such a... I'd actually say that he was like the best thing about the show for me. You know, it's weird because Captain Cold in the comics always seemed to be a bit of a sort of B character. He wasn't really sort of anything special. He seemed to be sort of like the Flash's version of I've forgotten the name of the character. It's got a Killer Frost or oh fuck, what's his name? My memory's so fucking screwy. Aha, what do we have here?
Taking the boy was a wise choice. He would not only make a powerful confidant, but I cannot help but see the incredible similarities to Bruce. He has natural talent, far more talent than Bruce ever did. He's like a sponge, taking in everything I've taught him and adapting it to his strengths. I have hope that this act may ease my loneliness Bruce left with his weakness. I must be certain to ensure any similar signs of weakness are purged from the boy.
Oh god, I fucking hate having a cold. Where are we? Oh, no, not there. Nope. Nope. Must be one of these doors. Oh shit, can't go that way. Can't go that way. Must be somewhere else down one of these corridors. Yeah, I can't remember what the name of the show was. It's a Prison Break. The bloke who plays Heatwave, who is really funny. He was also in that one. The bloke who plays Captain Cold. Can't remember the name of the actor. I know he's very gay. My sister was really surprised because she was quite a fan of Prison Break, and I said, yeah, he's like really, really gay. It's not like, you know, oh, where is it? I can hear it, but I just can't see it. Maybe it's up on one of these pillars. Ah, the second floor. There you are.
The Owlman has informed me our money laundering operation inside C.C. Haley's and Norton Brothers Circus has been skimming. I'm a bit surprised since the Flying Graysons have been loyal providers for me for over a decade. Not to mention, their talented son has always been ideal leverage. If he really wants the Graysons dead so badly, there must be a reason. One he'd pay through the nose for.
Repairing my gear. Constantly fucking repairing my gear. Oh. It's the other thing I hate about having a cold. I've got a wisdom tooth that causes me problems because it's pressed in against a nerve cluster. I get problems with my neck because I hurt my neck years ago when I was a child.
It'll hurt me if I don't get this where it needs to go.
It's not as severe as a neck break, but it clicks. And sometimes I get a bit of a trapped nerve in my shoulder from it, which hasn't been. It's made worse when I've put on a lot of weight. It's one of the reasons why I'm sort of semi-dieting. I'm on the
get back
5-7 diet. So 5 days of the week I eat healthily, and on the 6th and 7th day I can eat something sort of mildly fat, not fattening, and then on the
you don't know who you're messing with, do you?
The 7th day I can have something unhealthy. So I usually go to the cinema and have nachos and cheese, which is really unhealthy. But like I said to the girl when I was at the cinema last time, when I went to see Paddington 2, which was weird because I haven't seen Paddington 1, but I was going to see Justice League, but it wasn't on. So I went, oh well, I'll go and watch Paddington instead. And I really loved it. It was a really lovely film. It was like a sort of British fairy tale, but it was very much sort of it was multicultural, and it showed the best of what it is to be British, which I'm really pro.
I arrived with an open heart and a mission to spread the message of my people. Sadly,
Case file 2234. Detective Leonard Snart reporting. My worst nightmares are confirmed. Johnny Quick and Atomica have joined forces with Owlman, Superwoman, and Ultraman to form some sort of crime syndicate. What can one good man with a badge and a gun do against gods? I'll tell you what he can't do. Quit. I may not be Q Ranger or Sir Solomon Grundy, but I'm not going to do Alan and Benita pay for their crimes. Not until I'm dead.
Really, I've got to seek out some other heroes for this, because it's made a lot easier when you're doing these if you've got someone with you. Whoa! What the fuck was that? Ah. This ultimate trait's a bit. Oh, I've got a lot. Fucking hell. I'm going to look for some iconic powers because I'm getting my arse whipped here. Let's see now. What's that Bane thing? There we go. Venom boost. Load out. Want the Venom boost in this little lot. And Yeah, that'll do as my rule. Right, there we go. Haha.
You don't know who you're messing with, do you? You punch like a truck! Ugh. Watch the face! Don't touch me!
Cyborg sensor arrays. I'll look for them. Oh, let's... Yes. I completed all this the other day with Super Fandom, but being that he's a lot stronger and you know virtually indestructible compared to this bloke.
You ain't getting me!
Yeah, right. I think these are the sensor arrays. Yeah, there's one. Right, I'll look for the rest. Oh, there we go. I get that as well. This city map's not actually that big, really. It's sort of just like the size of downtown Gotham. Yep. Which makes things a bit easier. A little bit of gliding around, looking for the doodah thingy. What's it? Oh wait, there we go. There's one. Haha.
I have no problem mugging you too. That hurt.
Yeah. Ain't I cool? Ain't I the coolest?
If I had the means, I would summon all of my sisters from Themyscira.
Yeah, one of the people I've actually been watching a lot of videos, and the bloke talks a fucking lot more sense than most of the faux skeptic community is Peter Coffin. I was really surprised because I'd watched some of his smaller videos, but he's done a whole series that are like about all sorts of stuff that's really sort of important and prevalent to today. One of the people I've gone off completely though, unfortunately, is Adam Strange. Atheist was what he... Well, that's when I first saw it, because he used to appear on my Twitter feed a bit, because I follow Christiosity, and he seemed okay. It was a little bit too sarcastic, but he was part of this thing I was saying about this Sinatra Says bloke did this response to SJWs, which is like yeah, it'd have been okay in like 2015 when SJWs were asking for the most ridiculous demands on society and making wild accusations that everyone in a certain group is racist and sexist and homophobic and all that, and sort of overused certain words so much that they sort of lost their meaning, which was a bit of a shame. But not all of them. There are a lot of... There's SJWs who I can't stand. Like, I can't stand... I can't remember. St. Roland's his name is. It's just... everything is like a fight with him. There's no sort of fair sort of conversation. Steve Shives is another one who... I like Steve Shives' atheist videos. I can't stand any of his politics videos because he's just guilt tripping all the fucking time, and it's now virtually become like a meme, you know, banned by Steve Shives. Yeah, and it doesn't really serve much purpose. And Christy Winters, who I can respect some of the things Christy Winters says, but the way she says them I find a little bit sort of, again, sarcasm. It feels like sarcasm. It doesn't feel like it's being it's sarcasm and condescending. That, you know, yes, there are idiots on the anti-SJW side, but not all of them. You know,
We need to triangulate the crime syndicate's orbital base and map its trajectory around this planet if we're going to take the fight to them.
Yeah.
Try picking up the pace. Johnny Quick isn't going to turn over a new leaf.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I was going to do the Wonder Woman one, wasn't I?
The people here have been so beaten down that they can't pull themselves out of the darkness. They need us
Peter
to
Coffin stuff. I must say Coughlin then. Even though I've been watching Dick Coughlin videos, because he can be very funny. He can go a little bit over the top sometimes, which is a shame. He doesning really have a sort of balance. But it is nice to see someone who is completely old school, left wing, who doesn't take bullshit, who will say completely the wrong thing. But sometimes it's necessary to say completely wrong thing. That's why I like Devin Tracy. That he sometimes says things that I completely disagree with, especially about things like Trayvon Martin. He's completely wrong there, but when it comes to popping the egos of a lot of people who are in the
we're not in Kansas
skeptic
anymore.
community,
This city could really use your help.
he's very good at that, especially people like the Armored
Check in
Skeptic.
with them and give them a hand.
It's like I'm also a big fan of
the city I fought to redeem. Criminals profit from the suffering
what's his
of its
name?
citizens, and the GCPD.
Oh, my memory's so fucked at the
This
moment.
all ends tonight, and it ends.
Nightmare Fuel.
I'm on my way.
I really like Nightmare Fuel because he's a genuine liberal, but he will. He does videos where he's questioning the motivations of people, particularly, you know, really awful people like Dave Rubin, who is sort of like Dave Rubin's the best advert for not being a centrist, and also not being a classical liberal, because that classical liberal stuff is just bullshit. When Carl Benjamin says that he's a classical liberal, he's basically just giving excuse to why he's conservative. because you know, he's basically a closet conservative. It's as simple as that. There's no sort of middle ground argument there. He says things, and he buddies up with people like Milo Yiannopoulos, claiming it's all about freedom of speech, and it's not. It's
crazy?
Basically, Cole Benjamin is a little Englander. He won't admit that he's wrong about anything, and he says things that are just ridiculous. Yes, there's always a crazy element to any group. I've met Doctor Who fans who are completely fucking bonkers. One of them almost started a fight with me at a convention because I said that I'm pro the idea of the lung barrow concept of the Doctor being more than just the Doctor, but being more than just the Time Lord. That he's definitely more than a Time Lord now because he's regenerated 13 times. But there was a plot line that was sort of retconned a couple of times. That before he was the Doctor, he was someone else. The Other, they call it. And it's all interlinked with a story called The Brain of Morbius, where the Doctor has a match called Mind Bending, which is Gallifreyan wrestling. And it's...
Hand over the goods.
He's fighting Morbius, and Morbius... he says, how long have you lived? And the faces go back through the, like, from the 4th Doctor to the 1st Doctor, and then more faces appear on the screen. And the actual writer, Terence Dix, and the director both have said that that isn't Morbius, that's the Doctor. That he's lived a lot longer than people think. And that was retconned into the plot line in Lung Barrow, that the Doctor was someone else, and he got into a machine called a loom, and it explains where Susan came from, because in the first season of Doctor Who, one of his companions was his niece, Susan. No, it was granddaughter. His granddaughter, Susan.
Put out! I can fight my own battles. Hey, you heard my quota. You ain't getting me.
And yeah, that she was actually the granddaughter of the Other, and she recognises the Doctor as the Other. So it explains away one of the problems of why Susan's left on Earth and why she never reappeared in the series. But I was really... I like that concept. I like the alienness that it adds to the Doctor, that the Doctor... that Time Lords, they're not born Time Lords, they're changed into Time Lords. They use a special process, and it explains why there's certain stories in the first couple of seasons where the Doctor doesn't have two hearts, and the reason being is that he's not a full-blown Time Lord yet. Which I like that concept a lot more than what they've done now, where
the people of this world may not show
he's got a family and a mother and all that. Even though there was even plot lines, sort of offshoot plot lines, that the Doctor may have a family because
the crime syndicate are the kings of the criminal hill, but other super crooks still terrorize the normal folk. Maybe you can stop them.
But yeah, there was a plot line in the
if you really
Tomb
want
of
to
the
do some
Cybermen,
good, stop them at the
where
source.
the Doctor was saying to one of his companions about, you know, he has a family, but he only remembers them, which suggests that, you know, he had to give them up for some reason. That, you know, they might have been killed or something. But it's one of those that I really wish that the new series would sort of go more into.
The crime syndicate don't take kindly to interference in official business. Ah! You punch like a truck! Hey, watch the face! Enough! Enough! What?
Now you've done it. You just got the GCPD Gordon's attention. Your days are numbered. Requesting backup.
But yeah, this bloke, he got so angry at me that he was saying, let's go to the car park and fight this out. I was like, what? I was like, you know, we're talking about a TV show here. We don't... And it was getting really aggressive with me. Unfortunately, this being back in the 90s, other people got involved. You know, they weren't frightened of being sued. And they said, mate, just fuck off. There was this girl who was dressed up as Romana who said to this bloke, mate, just fuck off. And I was like, oh, thanks. Just like, the good old days, back when I used to go to science fiction conventions. Even though that's my New Year's resolution, that as well as getting a girlfriend, I need to get a girlfriend who likes science fiction conventions, because I want to nerd out again. I was a lot happier back when I was a complete nerd. Back in the olden days where I had loads, and I had an absolute fuck ton of VHS of Doctor Who. And I'd have girlfriends, and a lot of them never understood Doctor Who and why I like it so much. But and it was classic Doctor Who, not the new stuff. The new stuff is more palatable to a modern audience. You know, the 60s Doctor Who, though not... it's not nasty sexism, but there was a slight tinge of sexism in some of the stories. You know, the moon base is one where, you know, the Doctor's telling his companion, why don't you go and make everyone a cup of coffee? You know, just like, yeah, it wouldn't really sit well with modern feminism. But like I've said before, I'm an egalitarian. I believe in a completely level society where people aren't more important than each other. You know, my view is if someone has been involved in a fight or has drug charges, don't matter where they're from. They could be from like Ghettoville, or they could be from an enclosed housing project in Orange County. If they're guilty of a crime, they should be given the same punishment of the crime. But it's the major the biggest problem I have with both SJWs and anti-SJWs is none of them will recognise class distinction. in their societies. They you know, just because black people in certain states aren't being they've got houses and the opportunity to get jobs, but you know, they're not equal. The American society is really unequal, and it's not improving by electing people like Donald Trump, who I haven't heard him once mention the minimum wage or anything to do with anything important. You know, he goes on and on about how Mexicans are coming across the border and all that stuff, but no mention of dealing with the poverty of people living in America. No mention of that. Oh, capitalism can never be argued with. I'm like, yeah, capitalist system isn't very fair, especially the form of capitalism that America has been sort of using since the 1980s, the fucking Reaganomics pattern.
I'm taking you out.
The Reaganomics pattern is just the most hypocritical load of shit going. That you've got big business getting benefit like money from the government, that they're already earning money themselves through their product, and then add to that they're getting taxpayers' money to help them deal with the burden of tax. And I'm like, this is fucking insane. Basically what Reaganomics is socialism for the rich. It's the super rich people pay bugger all in, and actually the poor people, their taxes are used to help the rich people. And I'm like, this is fucking mental.
You've got to stop them.
And it doesn't work. Reaganomics has never worked anywhere. It's all it does is create lots of long-term debt, which America's got tons of now. Its debt is so high that it's unsustainable. At some point, the dollar is going to nosedive. The current theory is that it could happen next year. That the student debt bubble, when that bursts, they reckon it's going to take out most of the stability of the dollar, which is really a shame, because I don't think it'll be Donald Trump who'll be suffering. It'll be Joe Average on the street who'll suddenly find that his money's worth nothing. There we go. Sorry about the flatulence. Part of my diet is baked beans, and it makes me a bit gassy. Oh, let's do leggings. Oh. Oh, I'm going to leggings. Let's have to go back to the and get them repaired. Aha!
I appreciate it, but we better not be seen together.
I'll deal with that in good time. Aha!
Thanks. I think. I'll buy me some time.
It's a world of arseholes. Right, cyborg.
I'll backtrace the crime syndicate's surveillance network signals and map out the Panopticon's trajectory in no time.
Let's repair my gear. Oh, this fucking bloke.
Run! Run!
6. Let's see. Central period base items box. I'll get the base items box. Bollocks to it.
Oh no!
Who the fuck that guy?
Oh my god! Do something!
We'll go with that. Nice. Oh.
Help! Help!
Radar enhancer. I'll use that in a minute. Let's repair my gear. Sodas. So it's Batman.
No matter which Earth we're on, Gotham is my city. I won't allow a corrupt politician or an evil imposter to prey on its people. We're putting an end to it. Starting now.
Get away! Run! Run!
Yeah, see, if you work in a group, it makes things a lot easier to get things done. There we go. Right.
All this help you're doing is gonna get you in trouble. Run for your lives!
Hey, butt out! I can fight my own battle.
Oh, fuck you then, mate.
Run! Run!
Request assistance!
Get back!
Help! Help!
Ah, there we go. Ah. Oh, no.
Call for
I'm hit! Officer down!
Tension won't cover this!
Situation is getting out of control! Do something.
Fortunately, tomorrow I'm not doing a very long shift. I'm only doing 8 hours, which I'm really glad about because I'm pretty knackered last weekend doing a long shift. I didn't sleep well one night and it fucked me up. Like I get 2 days off in a row and then I get 5 days off in a row. But you know, when it's 2 days, if I've slept well, I'm fine. I'm not powerful enough to take on L Man alone.
What are you supposed to be? Call an ambulance! Requesting backup! Dispatch! We got a 1035 here!
1033! Request assistance!
God, it's fucking tough. When you're a non-powerful person, you really can't keep going into fights without sort of knowing what you sort of pre-planning. When you're a sort of basically just a human in this game with some sort of you basically got Batman as your sort of leader. You've got to be a little bit more selective about your opponents. You know, don't
Officer down!
run into a battle.
We were using those! Get out of
You get
control!
fucking pasted.
That's gonna leave him on. You punch like a truck!
Aha.
Mayor Gordon is the man for the job. Don't vote for that other guy.
Why won't it focus on the bloody target?
Gotham needs Gordon, and we need Gotham. Do the right thing and vote for Gordon.
There's a
Do the right thing and vote for Gordon. He stinks.
That sounds like a fucking Trump bloody argument. Some of the shit he comes out with. He made a whole big thing about how that fucking idiot who's running North Korea said he was old. I'm like, you're 72 years old. Of course you're fucking old, you mental case. Oh, I wouldn't call him short. I'm like, what? You've accused him of being like sort of one step below Satan. Fucking. I'm a firm believer in the idea that Donald Trump has senile dementia, that he's you know, everything about him just strikes me that there's the lift isn't reaching the penthouse. That he says things that are just so ridiculous, and you think you're a grown man. You know, absurd. There's a brilliant thing that I think it was I can't remember which website it was, but they put all of what Trump says in speeches actually written as he speaks it, sort of all copied down, and it's just the most baffling bullshit going. That stuff he talks and talks and talks. He doesn't go anywhere, and you're like, what was the point? You frustratingly moronic man. Still, the people who really make me laugh my arse off, and it actually makes me think a lot of Sam Harris had this point, that he dislikes moderates, religious moderates, because they try and make best out of bad ideas. Whoa.
Don't touch me.
Death Note. Never watched any of that Death Note stuff. But people, I talk to people online who are anime fans, and they talk a lot about it. But I'm just completely confused what the fuck it's about. I've done that. Let's go back to Batman.
Since the discovery of this other Earth, the team's been shaken up by what they've witnessed. Batman focuses his rage on Gotham and taking down Owlman and this evil James Gordon. On the other hand, Diana's heart goes out to all this world's innocents, even the most ungrateful ones. She holds a candle of hope no matter how dark the situation seems.
On our Earth, Gotham is my city. But thanks to your actions, this Gotham has a new protector.
Do some repairs. There we go. Gotta repair all my fucking equipment again. I can understand some of the frustration with this game when it was a paid game. Well, there's been this big story about how
This world's Gotham is a travesty of the city I fought to redeem.
How
Criminals profit
EA
from the suffering of its
have
citizens,
completely
and the GCPD
screwed up the release of Battlefield
This all ends
2.
tonight. And it ends with
And,
Gordon. I'm on my way to the Gotham Municipal Building to disrupt the mayor.
It's they've removed the paid well, it's gambling. The pay system where people could upgrade their characters by sort of buying boxes, and it's like a mobile game. I just wish there'd been this outcry when they were doing the same with the UFC game. But that really fucked me off. I was so angry. I paid about 50 quid for the UFC 2 game, and all it was a glorified mobile game where you kept having to buy boxes all the fucking time. And I was like, Jesus Christ, how can they get away with this? THQ made probably one of the best UFC games ever. Why couldn't they have remade that? But no, instead they decided we'll make a mobile game and we'll just put in sort of Ronda Rousey to sell it. Ronda Rousey and that funny Irish fella who I can never remember the name of.
You haven't changed anything. This election is just a technicality.
Run!
This situation is getting out of control.
You know, on the whole, though, most of the games on the PS4, they don't mean total disappointments, but when I was playing the 360 all the time, I would buy loads of games, and sometimes I've gone into the game shop and I've just gone through all the games and nothing jumps out at me as looking very good. I actually play the I think it's PlayStation Now, the system where you stream games, and I've been playing a lot of old games like XCOM, Enemy Unknown, that I never actually completed on the 360 because the fuck it kept crashing. But you know, well, if you look through my videos, it seems that where I was this is before you could stream through your 360. I'd video with a video camera what I was doing on the screen, because I absolutely loved Enemy Unknown. It's a fucking brilliant game. But you know, I haven't had the same effect with this machine. I'm going to get the new WWE game soon, because you know, I actually quite like Christ, what was it called? WWE 2K17. I liked it a lot more than 16 and 15. I never played because it's like shit. And they brought back loads of ridiculous limitations that I just couldn't understand why they brought back these limitations that they hadn't had in the games since like SmackDown. I think it was the one before Here Comes the Pain had a load of really stupid ideas put in. Or was it the one after? Oh no, it was the first SmackDown versus Raw.
Thanks, but
they got all up their own arse about having a system where you got tired in a match, but they hadn't really worked it out well. So you sometimes they'd be fighting someone and then you'd just pass out. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. They've sort of balanced that out on the more recent games. It's still my favourite of the whole SmackDown series was Here Comes the Pain, because it had such a big roster, and the hardcore matches were really good because they went completely silly and had a big map you could go around fighting, which I really like that aspect, that they went a little bit silly with it. Also, Here Comes the Pain had blood in it, which
the
they
crime
had
syndicate
in
don't take kindly to interference in official business.
You know, like the Raw is War
like a
game had blood in it, but for a long time there was a blood-free thing.
That hurt.
Yeah. Even though what I also liked about the older games was that you could have male versus female matches, and you just can't have that nowadays. There's usually gender hacks. Someone's worked out a gender hack or a way of having man versus woman, but it's never been perfect. You know, because I'm a big fan of Japanese wrestling, and in lots of federations they have man versus woman. Especially if they're in comedy matches, like Hustle had a whole thing with this
I can fight my
character
own
called
battle.
Bad
It'll hurt me if I don't get this where it needs to
Yakuza,
go.
and she'd be fighting Yoshihiro Tajiri or Razor Ramon HG, and the HG was for hard gay. But I really like Hustle. Many of the elements of Hustle eventually went to New Japan.
Get back!
And then moved to.
If you really want to do some good, stop them at the source.
Yeah, moved to New Japan, and then that influence now, along with DDT Pro, has influenced WWE.
Thanks, but I gotta get out of here.
That and Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor had a massive effect on the whole aspects of WWE. The whole NXT thing.
Don't take this the
Even
wrong
though
way,
the
but
first
I can't
run
be
of
seen around
NXT
you.
was pretty. But I think basically they learned to have some confidence in their product, and that there's a big following of people who like wrestling. Oh, that was good. Who like wrestling matches to be wrestling matches, and to having comedy matches and having character wrestlers.
If you really want to do some good, stop them at the source.
Find some more of those chicks with the dynamite. Yeah. Did a promo video earlier to take on a bloke I've never heard of, called well, if you're watching, you can see the video. Will probably be behind this one on my channel, and it's some bloke called Atlas. I think it's a joke about the Atlas Shrugged or something, the awful Ayn Rand novel. The Utopia for Greedy Bastards book. The idea that all the rich people are somehow the engines of society, and they all decide to go and live somewhere away from everyone else, away from all the workers. And it's just bullshit. You know, you could possibly have a society where you've got super rich people who are surrounded by robots, but are the rich people going to maintain the robots? See, this is the problem. There's always the maintenance aspect, that you can have super rich, greedy bastards, but they need workers in the end to do the jobs that they won't do. You know, unless they go down the slavery road, which also leads to the problem of people don't like to be slaves. They will rebel eventually. It might take a generation, but eventually they throw off their masters. But yeah, Ayn Rand's very. I was sort of on side with Ayn Rand because I read The Fountainhead, and because I'm quite a fan of the film The Fountainhead. But just a lot of really stupid things about Randinism, or whatever the hell they call it. Objectiveness just seems to be an excuse to be a greedy, sort of black and white view bastard. It's a philosophy of greed, and I don't think greed's a virtue. I think greedy people should not be seen as the engines of society. I think greedy people are greedy people who just, you know, they're misers. They're people who should be looked down upon. Yeah, socialism coming out again. Well, I'm not a socialist as in communist socialist at all. I don't like communism. My politics are libertarian. I think that government should be nothing but a system of like any other. It should be like, you know, gas and water or the fire brigade. I don't think they should have any patronage. I don't think they should have any special treatment, or you shouldn't be able to make a profit out of being in government. You know, I don't think the government should be telling me what I can watch, read, or say. My libertarian view is that government is, but basically is a tax-paid service system, and that's all they should be. That they shouldn't be given preferential treatment over people. You know, I remember reading as a teenager the plans of what would happen if the UK ever got involved in a nuclear attack. There's a bunker with tunnels that lead from Buckingham Palace to Whitehall. And the Prime Minister and his advisors around him would go into these tunnels, these nuclear bunker tunnels, which are quite large because you can fit vehicles in them supposedly. And the Queen and the royals, they'd all be protected, but the normal citizens, well, under a martial law act, the military would be the police, so people would be pretty fucked. You know, radiation poisoning, burns, lawlessness, people scavenging, things like that. The government would have the power to just eliminate anyone they want.
No problem,
and it's pretty scary when you're actually reading this in an official document about how they would be treating people after an atomic attack. You know, it sort of makes you think, well, you know, why would I want to survive? You know, all the democracy would stop. And this isn't a all-out attack either, which I find a bit creepy. You know, if it was just like a dirty bomb, the government would literally put control of active powers in the hands of the military. And, you know, the military courts, the way they work is a fast process. They're not going to sort of listen to a person's arguments on why they were stealing food.
You don't know who you're messing with, do you? Hey, watch the face! Don't touch me!
I appreciate it, but we better not be seen together.
I've always liked some elements of libertarianism. The idea that the government shouldn't be telling people what to do. You know, they're not the be all and end all, especially the current lot that are in charge of the UK. You know, the amount of sex abuse allegations that were already on their books that they covered up under Cameron, and the allegations of what he would get up to when he was a student, including putting his penis in the mouth of a pig. These people aren't my moral authority. They're not my moral superiority at all. So why should the law be more on their side than it is for me? I think the citizen, like I said before, I'm egalitarian. My egalitarian views are that everyone is equal, and it doesn't matter what part of society you're inhabiting.
Take that.
People don't, just because you've got a job in government doesn't mean you're more important than me.
Now what? You ain't
If you really want to do some good, stop them at...
I find it unfortunate that Gary Johnson in America never got very far.
Case file 2234. Detective Leonard
I
Snark
wish he'd
reporting.
been in
We've got
the
Alan and
debates
Panita
himself.
cornered on the roof of Central City Star Labs. There is nowhere
Jill
left
Stein.
for them to
Jill
run.
Stein could walk circles
butt out.
around Hillary Clinton. I think that was probably the reason why she wasn't in the debates, because Jill Stein is a sort of, well, she's intelligent, and she's not, her background wasn't a lawyer, it was an actual doctor, you know, and it's I know she's not perfect, and the American Green Party is very different from
I gotta get out of here.
European Green Party, but I just think that she deserved a little bit better than what she got.
You haven't changed anything. This election is just a technicality.
No, I was pretty upset the way that a lot of people in the American media treated her. You know, they were saying things like she was mad and things like that. It's just
all this
mad in
you're doing
comparison
is
to
going to
Donald
get you in
Trump.
trouble.
I don't think so.
You haven't changed anything. This election is just a technicality. This situation is getting out of control.
Your pension won't cover this. Officer down.
What other game could you kill a policeman with an axe? I'll just get up to 100 cons, and then I think I'm going to go to bed because yeah, a bit tired. Yeah, my promo earlier, I've got off the subject, I was talking about Atlas Shrugged. Yeah, I did it anonymous style, because I've got this app on my phone that's like text-to-speech. And I put in a load of jokes into it, that I'm just hoping that Tonka, when he plays it, he don't talk all the way through it, because there's a really silly joke in there. Where I've created Marquis of Pofit's rules, slightly taking the piss out of William Regal had a match that was Marquis of Queensberry rules, and it was against Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho made him tap, then he pinned him. Then he pinned him again using the Dragon Soul, and the Marquis that was a woman, because the Marquis is actually a man. She kept saying, "Oh no, he hasn't won." And in the end, Chris Jericho put the Marquis of Queensberry in the Lion Tamer. It was a wacky match that I just wish there was more wacky matches like that, because I'm a massive fan of William Regal. I actually consider him the best British wrestler ever. You know, there's been some in the past, like the British Bulldog, or
mind your own business.
Dynamite Kid, or Rollerball Rocco. But you know, William Regal's just good because he's not just the wrestling. He does amazing wrestling, a brilliant mat wrestling style with complex moves. But he's brilliant at selling, and he's very funny outside wrestling, doing the pompous routine. And yeah, I'm a big William Regal fan. One of my favourite Muta matches is the Great Muta is my favourite wrestler. I'm a big fan of Kenta Kobashi as well, but for different reasons. But the Muta against William Regal is an absolutely brilliant match, where William Regal's got him all tied up, and he's doing the open hand punches to the jaw, and the mooter to get out of it just green mists him in the face. And he sells it so well, like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to him, and he's sort of like gagging and stuff like that. It's just brilliant, because the whole mooter gimmick is just... I remember one of the first matches I ever watched of WCW when it was NWA main event, back in, it must be 1988, on late night TV. There was a TV station called TVS in the UK. It was TV Southern, because we had regional TV stations, and this was back when there was only 4 channels on the TV, and I really liked a lot of shows that were on late at night on ITV, like Stingray and The Highwayman, and the TV series Friday the 13th, stuff like that. A lot of like B TV shows and B movies. I watched Forever Night, was a B movie that I can
Coming to this other Earth has opened up some old wounds for me. Since my accident, people stopped seeing me as fully human. I had to earn their trust and understanding by being more than just a machine. Despite whatever pain or anguish I was going through, I swallowed it and showed empathy to even the most undeserving people. Seeing the way this other version of the Justice League behaves makes me wonder what sort of monster my evil double on this other Earth is. Don't get me wrong, I've always wanted to bump into the big leagues.
Merciful Minerva, forgive these poor souls for their acts. The things I have seen on this Earth are beyond anything I could imagine. No law, no order, and no heroes to act as paragons for those at the end of their wits. Hera, protect them and give me strength to act on their behalf and grant hope to this darkened world.
The game is afoot. See, the purple level people, I think they're people who get up to, I think it's either level 30 or level 40.
It is no wonder the people of this planet have taken to desperation. Every day is spent in the merciless shadow of the crime syndicate. These poor people live without virtue because virtuous behavior holds no value to them. I wish to show them that virtues have purpose and meaning.
Oh, here we go. Here's another Deadpool rip-off. Oh, like that. It's like Father Christmas. What have we got here? Another flying superhero. There you go. Yeah, I can't fly. Get my armour repaired. Oh! Oh, some Atomic Skull rip-off. Tinnitus. Hope this is just a cold. I don't want to get the flu again. Especially since next weekend I'm going over to my mum's, and we're going to have an early birthday party because I'm 41 in December. So back on subject about the promo. See, I keep getting distracted by things. Yeah, I did the promo using an app on my phone. I put in lots of jokes, like the Marquis with Pofit's rules, and I put them in appendixes like you would in a book. And one of the appendixes, if your appendix is if you have an appendix, I think it was appendix 4. If you have appendicitis, please make sure you get your appendix treated. Which is a bit of a stupid joke. I even put in a Die Harder joke in it. You know, Die Hard, Die Harder. But yeah, I'm going to do quite a few more of these promos to.
I can fight my own battles.
People. I like I said, I got to get my silky clothes, my silky dressing gown and stuff, and I'm going to do the whole copper cab style thing with Pofit cab.
All this help you're doing is going to get you in trouble.
No, I want to do proper streaming, but it's trying to find people who are interested in it. I think I may have to.
Who do you think you are? Mind your own business.
More sort of liberally people on my Patreon. So I do pay $20 each month to a podcast that review terrible movies called the Grind Bin Podcast. I strongly recommend if you're into B movies. They've done a very funny review about.
If you really want to do some good, stop them at the.
Oh God, I forgot the name. Saint Blair. She was in The Exorcist. No, it's fucking gone. My bloody memory. Yeah, it was about these terrible movies.
I appreciate it, but
she did
we
in
better
the
not be
80s
seen
and early 90s. Oh God, what's her name? Where's my phone? Fuck it. Fuck it.
Oh my God.
What's this? Please let what? Please let me know if you understand it or not. Okay. Oh, piss off, Vamp. Stop, bloody. I'm not even following you. I'm going to have to block her. I'm bloody sick of this. Blocked. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. And she got all uppity last time when I said that. Oh, forget it, Profit. You're a great po. There's no way I could beat you. Oh, he doesn't want to bloody face me. Oh, disappointing. Oh, I got a new subscriber. Well, what did I do? Oh, yes. Female star of The Exorcist.
Linda Denise Blair.
That's it, Linda Blair. Bites. Yeah. Yeah, Linda Blair, she developed a coke problem in the 80s and she did a lot of really shit films. And they've been reviewing them. And
all this help you're doing is gonna get you in trouble.
There.
Thanks. I think.
I am actually tempted to create a B Twitter as well. Not Twitter, YouTube, and maybe have that as a separate channel completely. Because I want to do movie reviews. I've got to work out how to use that system, ISO or something like it's called, where you can project videos from YouTube onto it and sort of stream it onto the video whilst you're talking and watching something. Because there's loads of videos I've wanted to do response videos to, but I just can't do it because I can't project it through the PS4. Like Aiden Paladin, some of the rubbish that woman speaks, and it's a real shame because she started off making some quite good videos and making some quite good points, but I think she's basically gone into the same trap that Sargon went in, where he was doing sort of sensible videos for like the first 6 months, and then he decided that he did a video with Milo Yiannopoulos. It got loads of support, and since then he's been frightened to do anything other than that style of sort of attacking social justice people. Like, they're the big problem. It's not groups like the Aryan Brotherhood. Oh no, they're not bad. It's like all this shit about Antifa. Yes, there are individual cases where Antifa are violent, but they're not even in the same league as like the Aryan Brotherhood. The Aryan Brotherhood assassinate policemen, and they have gang wars, and they have prison riots where they kill loads of people. It's just like, you know, for fuck's sake, a bit of balance. Well, it's like this whole Al Franken thing that I was watching Bill Maher on my phone earlier, and it was the last show of his season, and it was half and half. There was a lot of like virtue signalling. There was a fella on it who was like really ultra virtue signalling about feminism, and you know, it felt like he was sort of trying to play the nice guy.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I can't be seen around you.
And it was a little bit too over the top. It was a bit unbelievable that this bloke believed exactly what he was saying. But one of the things they were discussing was Al Franken, who, well, he tried to get a Playboy model to kiss him. Then he did a thing when they were on a plane, and he looks a little bit drunk, where he didn't even touch her boobs. And the right wing's gone mad, and they're making comparisons between this pretty much harmless thing and that Moore bloke who has been fucking underage teenage girls. It's like, you know, there's no real comparison. It's like me. I had fights with skinheads when I was a teenager, because where I live had a severe skinhead problem due to lots of things, especially in the early 90s because of the recession. There were lots of people trying to blame ethnic minority groups and even gay people that they were somehow responsible for the economy being fucked. It wasn't the greedy fucking banksters who done boom and bust. It wasn't them. It was things like single mothers was another target, which I found pretty pathetic when I first heard it. But
who do you think you are? Mind your own business.
It'd be like comparing that to the murder of people involved with Black Lives Matter.
If you really want to do some good, stop them at the source.
There's no comparison. There's no comparison between a man who basically isn't pretty, who was on a USO show with a very pretty woman, he probably sort of thought that he might be able to get a kiss out of her, and basically acted a bit weird.
Hey, butt out!
And it made the lady feel uncomfortable. There's no comparison between that and this Moore bloke who was doing things like, if he liked a teenage girl that he'd met at the mall,
now buy me some time.
Because he was district attorney, he'd go to the girl's school and find out details about them, looking through school files and things. That's fucking hell. You know, it's not the same. It's really not. Ow! Nose is full of snot. Oh, I've got a... God. That's something that really annoys me about Twitter. People take everything so fucking serious. You know, you do a joke and they don't get the joke, and then you have to explain the joke to them. Then they go, oh well, I don't agree with that. And you're like, it's a fucking joke. I sent out a tweet earlier that I saw something that was really cute. It was like a story about, I think it's people keeping ring-tailed lemur. And I said, oh, how cute they are, and if I ever won the lottery, I'd definitely be keeping ring-tailed lemur. And I'm getting, oh, well, don't send this to me. And all stuff. Oh, piss off. Miserable bunch of wankers. Oh, I don't like it. And then people cheering them on that they don't like it. I'm like, oh, it's major serious. Yeah. Oh, my time is so important. My life is so important. Like, no, it isn't. No. I see something cute, I decide to retweet it. Oh my God, crime of the century. Better call the UN. You know, call the Hague. War crime of sharing cute animal picture. Oh my God.
All this help you're doing?
Makes me laugh the most, though. Usually these are people who bang on and on about how tough they are, and you know, the whole right-wing bullshit, the whole MAGA thing. Just, I've never seen such a bunch of childish wankers in my life. The ridiculousness of these people, that they are so ridiculously sensitive. They're more sensitive than Fox News or what's his fucking name? Alex Jones. Jesus Christ, what a fucking idiot.
Get away!
Oh my... He was bandwagoning like fucking crazy about the Al Franken thing. And I tweeted it. I said, well, hang on a minute, mate. Your wife divorced you because she claimed that you were verbally, sexually and emotionally abusive, you piece of shit. But this is the problem when you got a witch hunt going on. The whole Hollywood thing, yes, that's bad, but I'm a firm believer in you need to you don't prejudge. That's what the court system's there for.
Hey, butt out! I can fight my own battles.
And people are saying, oh well, there's so many people have said so and so and so and so. I'm like, yeah, that's not evidence. Just because people have made accusations doesn't mean that they're true. There are people who lie. You know, don't blindly believe every single person who claims something, because then you...
That's gonna leave a mark.
You run the risk of what will happen eventually is one of these people turn out to be a complete liar.
I appreciate it, but we better
that
not
they
be
exaggerated or they had morning after change of mind, and you've judged a person as a rapist or an abuser, and they didn't. They weren't an abuser or a rapist. And sometimes these,
mind your own business.
Having an accusation of that on your head. Well, there was a case when I was at school. One of my school teachers
Don't take this the
told
wrong
me
way, but I can't be seen
about
you.
when a school he'd worked at, the headmaster was accused by two students who didn't like him of being a
If
bit
you really want to do some good, stop them.
and sexually abusing them. And it turned out in the end they'd lied. They'd lied because he'd given them detentions.
Hey, butt out! I can fight my own
himself.
battles.
Hey,
Because
don't hurt
of
me if I don't get this
embarrassment,
where it needs to
because
go.
the life-destroying effects that his marriage fell to pieces because his wife was fooled, like a lot of other people were fooled, and then it turned out in the end that these girls had lied about it, and the bloke's career was totally in tatters, so he hung himself. So, you know, this is the problem with media, who are more interested in making money off the story than actually reporting the facts.
Case file 2234. Detective Leonard Snart reporting. Alan and Benita set fire to a middle school yesterday. No demands, no ransom. For no other reason than to watch it burn. Mick and I managed to save all the children, but two teachers paid the ultimate price. These two can run like the devil, but there isn't a small enough hole for them to hide from us.
Oh. That's the same. Oh. Aha.
I appreciate it, but we better not be seen together.
Johnny Quick is the evil version of, well, this.
Hey, butt out! I can fight my own battles.
Of the Flash. There's Professor Zoom in the regular Earth 2, because Earth 2 is where the Justice League are. They're not Earth 1. Earth 1 is the Justice Society, which is basically the Golden Age DC universe.
I appreciate it, but we better not be seen together.
Hello, news. Boing. That's another thing.
Who do you think you are? Mind your own business.
Up yours too.
Hey, butt out! I can fight my own battles. I appreciate it, but we better not be seen together.
Yeah, I'm going to probably sit down at some point tomorrow and edit out a lot of people off of Twitter, because a lot of people just talk so much crap now. You know,
hey, butt out! I can fight my own battles.
Some of them just seem to say things so ridiculously hurtful all the time. You know, and it makes me depressed. It's like when I've had conversations with people who are Christians. I mean, you're
appreciate it, but
them and
we better not.
You mention things that are pretty much extremely important if you're a Christian, because I used to be a Christian, and then they don't believe any of this. They don't believe in having a welfare state to
I can
help
fight my own
people
battles.
Who have lost their jobs and things. You're just like, how the fuck can you be a Christian
You're not one of the crime syndicate.
and not care about people who are poor and dispossessed and things like that?
I appreciate it, but we better not be seen together.
Very weird. I think the biggest problem I have with a lot of Christians today is
hey, butt out!
Christianity
I can fight my own
so
battles.
Politicized. You know, it's fortunately the Tories had a go at that in the UK back in about, I think it was about 2012 sort of time. They tried to pull the Jesus card.
All this help you're doing is going to get you in trouble.
It wasn't a vote winner, so they pulled back off. You've still got the fucking religious nutters in the DUP who, these people want to outlaw abortion. You're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? All life matters. I'm like, does it? Does it really? I'm like, yeah, okay, so if a child's going to be born with no lungs and has to go on go through massive
Thanks to you, the
procedures
people of this
and
Gotham
has,
won't have to fear that
2%
motor-mouthed
chance of
maniac
survival.
for a while. Thanks.
That's really worth it, is it? I'm like, fucking idiots. Oh god, my nose. Ugh. Oh, don't look any different. Great. Let's have a look at me.
Run!
Yeah. I'm I've got to sit down at some point and have a look at this Discord app, because there are elements to that I actually find quite interesting that I might have a go at. So, sort of an alternative to Twitter.
Thanks. I think.
Get away! Please, you've got to help!
Oh no, no. No, definitely not. We'll go with that. Yeah, I quite like that look. Let's change the back. It's a ragged one. I really like the ragged. There we go. The tattered. Yeah, that's the look. The gloves, they remind me slightly of the Nightfall Batman.
You heard my quota.
Whoa! You haven't changed anything. This election is just a technicality. My pension won't cover this!
Mayor Gordon is the man for the job. Don't vote for that other guy. He stinks!
80 down, 20 more.
My pension won't cover this.
Request assistance! Hey! We were using those!
Hey!
Enough! Call for backup!
Fuck you too. Right, let's upgrade. I think I'll get another iconic power. Let's go to Batman. Whew. I met a new working colleague today. I might be moving to doing shifts again. Which is okay. You know. There are some benefits to doing shifts. I sleep a lot better when I'm doing the late shift. But I mainly wanted to continue doing the early shift because the people that we were bringing down to sort of
I was just doing my job. You weren't wanting me to get some extra votes.
Don't want to turn up to work. So I come in and do a load of work that would have been done hours earlier. You know, sometimes that's paperwork, and when people are turning up, sort of within 10 minutes of me being at work, I'm expecting to have compiled a journey plan for them already. And I'm like, well, I've only just got here. And there are quite a few... The general public aren't kind if you... aren't completely prepared, you know, they'll start tapping watches and all sorts of stuff, and you're like, Jesus Christ, I've only just got here. Oh, this wasn't this way when it was this way on, and I'm like, oh, I can't actually tell them people,
Gordon is the future of Gotham.
I'm thinking it, but you know, people can be complete jerks. I get, and when I get there, and not only that hadn't been done, other things hadn't been done, like train maintenance hadn't been done. So I have to do that. I was basically doing like two people's jobs on my own. I'm like, well, you know, why am I doing?
I appreciate it, but
paid
we
for
better
one
not be
person's
seen
job
again.
when I'm doing two people's jobs? You know, you got to have some sort of balance with this shit.
The crime syndicate don't take kindly to interference in official business.
Well, I request to put on early shifts all the time. It can be okay, but some days I get home and I'm absolutely exhausted and have to go to bed after about 2 hours. Like today, I came home and slept for about 3 hours.
Don't touch me.
13.
Hey, butt out! I can fight my own battles.
Hey, fuck off. Oh, fuck.
We need the crime syndicate's encryption codes, coordinates to the Panopticon's location, and a better understanding of their criminal bureaucracy. Are you game?
Take him out!
Stop hitting me.
You've got to stop him!
Now you've done it. You just got the GCPD and Gordon's attention. Your days are numbered.
Yeah, I recently jettisoned quite when I was sat down and I was sitting and just looking through all the YouTube channels that I've been subscribed to, and I realised so many of them are fucking dreadful. Like Mundane Matt, I don't get it anymore. He just seems to be against things for attention. With this whole thing about, the new Star Trek shows, it's garbage, and this stuff, well, it's not. It's not. I've watched episodes of it. It's not brilliant. It's not Deep Space Nine. But it's certainly not Star Trek Enterprise. You know, I think what he's been trying to do is recapture like I was saying about Sargon, it's where people get into the mindset of, this video got me a lot of attention, I'll try and recreate that again and again and again. And lightning doesn't always strike twice. You know, his whole spiel about how terrible Star Trek is sounds almost identical to what he was saying about the Ghostbusters movie, which was bad, but it wasn't the death of cinema. You know, there was a lot of hyperbolic rubbish about how terrible it was and how
evil has a strong grip on this world. But there are good people here who need our help, and help them we shall.
Yeah, it's sort of a form of attention seeking. Oh shit, I didn't want to do that. Yeah, it's and I just noticed so many channels that I was subscribed to that just aren't good. They've just sort of, they're spinning their wheels. You know, I was for a while watching No Bullshit, and then I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden it turned into an absolute garbage fire overnight. And you know, there wasn't any logic or any reasoning or even sort of facts anymore. It was just sort of, I'll act like a right-wing piece of shit and say things that I know will upset people and be a complete bully. And it's funny because there's been this massive backlash against him recently. It was a fella called Battering or something like made a video about him, and lots of people all of a sudden realised how terrible he is. But it's funny because I said that about a week and a half earlier. I said that I don't like him because he's a bully, because he said such horrible things about Boogie, you know, the big guy who does computer game reviews. He seems a really nice bloke. You know, he seems really a nice and harmless guy. And then he released this video because Boogie put out a whole series of videos saying about how he was having surgery to reduce his weight because he's obese, and it's well, it's life-threatening medical so he's had all this treatment, had a gastric bypass operation, and you know, he's saying about his support and all this shit, you know, totally honest, things like that. And No Bullshit took this as, oh, well, he's just scamming money and getting attention. And I was like, what are you fucking talking about? He's got a life-threatening condition. It's just fucking full of shit.
The disease of corruption infects everyone and everything on this earth. From the highest penthouse to the lowest gutter, no one is immune. I want you to help stop this infection.
Special dollars. You know, as free games go, this is probably one of the better ones I've played. There's this new Conan game coming out in the new year for PS4 that I've definitely got to get in on. Because I really liked Age of Conan on the PC. Till my PC fucking died. But, you know, I remember there was a big backlash of when they put in an update and they wouldn't allow you to make the women in the game have ridiculously big boobs. And there was a major sort of schism. And I could see their point because, you know, the Anita Sarkeesian thing, I could understand if Age of Conan was like a major game, like something like World of Warcraft, but it wasn't. You know, the server when I was using it I think the maximum I ever saw on the server was something like, must have been about...
You haven't changed anything. This election is just a technicality.
You know, because if you look on the server who's posting stuff, its number, and it was nowhere near anything for World of Warcraft or even this game. So I can understand if that they were saying it was sexist or misogynistic if it was a game that was really well known.
You just got the GCPD and Gordon's attention. Your days are numbered.
I just like the action in it, and it wasn't Elder Scrolls. It was based on the Conan from the novel.
I was just doing my job. Gordon wanted me to get some extra votes. I'm hit. Request assistance.
Oh, you bastard! Fuck it. Anyway, I'm finishing up now because I need to go to bed. So hopefully this stream's been nice and long, and yeah. If that wolf shit woman is listening, fuck you. Oh.